You could manifest everything you want right now, instantly, but you will not. And that is why you are watching this video. You are reality itself, which means, theoretically, nothing is stopping you. You could shift your entire life in this moment, but you have not. And let us talk about why you have not done this yet and what actually works. The gap between knowing I am reality, intellectually, and living from that recognition is the gap that keeps you stuck. You understand the concept. You can articulate it. You might even believe it, but you are not embodied in it. You are not living as source. You are still identified with thought, still seeking outside yourself, still trying to get what you think you do not have. This video is about closing that gap, not through more concepts, but through practice. Through the one thing that shifts you from thinking about being reality to recognizing you already are. Meditation, not as a path to somewhere else, as a tool to see what is already here. Let me be clear about what meditation is. Meditation can quiet your mind. It can produce profound states of bliss. But what is actually happening underneath those experiences? You are entering a transcendental state of being. That state, that shift in consciousness, is not a bonus. It is the entire point. It is the mechanism that heals your body, regulates your emotions, and supercharges your brain. From the conventional view, meditation improves your life by reducing stress and enhancing cognition. But from the deeper view, that transcendental state is where you stop being the limited character and recognize yourself as the totality. And when you intend from that state, when you select a reality from that state, everything shifts. That is the secret to changing reality, not visualizing from your default state of identification, but selecting from the transcendental state where you recognize what you actually are. But the foundation underneath all of that, recognition. Recognition of what is aware of the quiet mind. Recognition of what experiences the bliss. Recognition of what remains when thoughts stop. You are not trying to create those states. You are recognizing what is already here. The awareness that is present, whether thoughts are loud or silent, whether you feel blissful or agitated. That awareness has no problems. It is not anxious. It is not seeking. It is not broken. Every problem you think you have belongs to the character in the dream. But you are not the character. You are the dreamer. Meditation is how you stop identifying with the character and recognize yourself as the dreamer. This is not metaphor. This is the most accurate description of what you are that language can provide. You have been conditioned to believe you are the voice in your head, the thoughts, the emotions, the body, the story of me. But you are not. You are the silent, unchanging awareness that is aware of all of that. And when you recognize this, not intellectually, but directly, you shift from seeking to being, from effort to effortlessness, from trying to manifest to simply selecting. That is the shift meditation creates, not through years of practice, through recognition that happens the moment you stop looking for it. So how do you actually do this? The simplest instruction I can give you: notice that you exist. Right now, there is an awareness present. You cannot deny this. You are aware of watching this video. You are aware of existing. What is that awareness? Can you find where it begins or ends? Can you step outside of it? You cannot, because you are it. Thoughts will appear in that awareness. Sensations will appear. Emotions will appear. Let them. You are not trying to get rid of anything. You are recognizing that you are the space in which everything appears, not the things appearing. This is the I am state, not a feeling, not an emotion, a recognition. When you rest in that recognition, even for a few moments, you are no longer seeking. You are no longer trying to become something. You are simply being what you already are. And from that state, everything changes. Because when you are identified with awareness instead of thought, you are no longer operating from lack. You are not the person who does not have what they want. You are the totality, temporarily experiencing this perspective. From that recognition, manifestation is not about getting, it is about selecting. You are not trying to attract money. You are recognizing that the version of you that is abundant already exists, and you are deciding, that is me. You are not trying to heal your body. You are recognizing that the version of you that is healthy already exists, and you are deciding, that is me. You are not trying to make someone love you. You are recognizing that the version where you are together already exists, and you are deciding, that is me. This is not visualizing a future outcome. This is selecting a present reality. All versions exist now. You are simply choosing which one to experience by deciding which version you identify as. And meditation is the tool that makes this decision possible. Because without meditation, you remain identified with the story of who you think you are. The person who is broke, the person who is sick, the person who is alone. But with meditation, you recognize, I am not that story. I am the awareness in which that story appears. And I can choose a different story, not by forcing it, by recognizing it is already true and living from that recognition. This is what I mean by heightening your state of being. You are not becoming more. You are recognizing you already are everything, and then selecting which aspect of yourself to experience. That is living as source, not seeking as ego. Let me give you 3 examples: health, wealth, and relationships. The 3 things people actually want to manifest. Health. Dr. Joe Dispenza has documented case after case of people healing, tumors disappearing.
It was my nurse practitioner that was on the call, and me and my mom. And she was like, yeah, did you see your results? I put them in your portal. And I was like, I want you to tell me. And she was like, yeah, there's no signs of metastasis. And then my mom was like, okay, well, no metastasis, but what about her left ovary? Like, you know, because I was told there was so much disease left in there. And she was like, there's nothing in the left ovary. And we were just crying on the phone, and it was just so crazy.
Paralysis reversing.
And I just up on my feet in 10 weeks. I was back into my life. They were supposed to put me in a body cast and this whole thing. And I just made a deal with myself. And that deal was, if I ever was able to walk again, I'd spend the rest of my life, studying the mind-body connection and mind over matter. And that's kind of what I've been doing since that point.
Chronic conditions dissolving.
And I went to the doctors, and it was a doctor I'd never been to before. And so she checked on my heart. And that is, this story is really still like a mystery to me, because she checked on it and she didn't really say it, but I could sense it, that she was really confused. And she sent me out, and because she was done with me, and I was about to leave, and then she called me back in again. And she told me to lay down again. So she checked on the heart again. And she just, the end of the story, she just couldn't find the hole in the heart anymore. It was just gone.
The pattern is always the same. They shifted their state. They meditated repeatedly, so deeply, with such conviction, that they were no longer practicing the version of themselves that was sick. They became aware of the fact that they were already healthy, right here, right now. Not in the future, not after the healing, now. The body follows consciousness. When you shift your state, when you stop identifying as the sick person and recognize yourself as awareness itself, your biology reorganizes to match. This is not theory. This is documented, measurable, repeatable. You are not trying to heal your body. You are recognizing that health is what you are underneath the story of illness. Meditate. Stop identifying as the condition. Recognize the awareness that is here, unchanged, whole, complete. Then live from that. Wealth. The majority of people who have won the lottery reported that they believed they manifested it, that something divine occurred, not that it was random luck. They had dreams about winning. They had strong thoughts of winning, without resistance, without effort. They simply knew. If it was simply luck, then how are so many people all saying the same thing? They recognized abundance before it appeared. They selected the version where they already had it, and reality reflected it. You are not trying to attract money. You are recognizing abundance where it already exists. Meditate. Recognize that you are not a person who lacks anything. Feel how grateful you actually are for what you have already been given. Decide to see your abundance everywhere you look, not as an affirmation, as a fact, as a recognition of what is true here in this moment. The version of you that is abundant is not waiting in the future. It is here now. You are simply choosing whether to see it or to keep looking at lack. Relationships. Specific people. This one requires clarity because there is a lot of confusion about how this actually works. You are not trying to force someone to love you. You are not manipulating their free will. Here is what you are actually doing. You are shifting to the parallel reality where they already chose you, willingly, without coercion or manipulation. That version exists right now. In that reality, their free will naturally aligns with yours. They want you. You want them. It is mutual. You are not changing them. You are becoming the version of you that exists in the reality where they already love you. And here is the key. In that reality, you are different. You are not the version of you they rejected. You are the version they could not help but choose. When you meditate deeply, when you recognize yourself as source, as the I am, as reality itself, your entire presence shifts. You stop seeking validation. You stop chasing. You stop needing them to complete you. And that energy, that embodiment of your own worth, it is undeniable. People feel it. They are drawn to it. Not because you are manipulating them, but because you have become magnetic at the level of consciousness. So the work is not on them. The work is on you. Meditate. Stop identifying as the person who is alone, rejected, or chasing. Recognize the awareness that is here, whole, complete, already loved. Then decide, I am the version of me that exists in the reality where we are together, and live from that, not by convincing them, not by waiting for them to change, by embodying the version of you that they already chose in that parallel reality. When you shift into that version, when you truly become it, reality reorganizes to reflect it. That is not manipulation. That is selection. You are choosing which reality to experience by choosing which version of yourself to be. Here is the key to all three. You can confirm whatever you are looking for to be true. It works in both directions. And both times, you are right. If you look for evidence that you are sick, you will find it. If you look for evidence that you are healing, you will find that too. If you look for evidence that you are broke, it is there. If you look for evidence that you are abundant, that is there too. If you look for evidence that they do not want you, you will see it everywhere. If you look for evidence that they do, you will see that instead. Be wise. Choose what you want to experience, because you are reality, and reality reflects what you decide it is. Your only job is to stop identifying as the version that does not have it and start living as the version that does. Not someday. Not when circumstances change. Now. I will be making dedicated videos on manifesting large sums of money, living with perfect health, and creating beautiful relationships. This is the foundation, the principle underneath every technique. Subscribe so you don't miss those videos when they come. For now, understand this. You are not broken. You do not need more information. You do not need another method. You need to stop seeking and start being. Meditate. Recognize what you are. Select the version you prefer. You are reality.